Good morning and welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Friday, the 19th day of Adar Bays, the second Adar. Let's begin with Tzedakah. Gedola, Tzedakah, Shemakarebes is HaGeula. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. We continue chapter 37 in the Tanya. And the Alter Rebbe talks about, in today's lesson, about the descent of our souls into this physical world. What is the purpose? Our soul comes from a very, very holy place. And we discussed in the previous lessons about all of the beautiful things it does, elevate, to purify the world. But as for the soul itself, what is the purpose for the soul to come down to this world? What is the benefit? Does the soul need fixing? Ultimately, what we come down to this world, we want to achieve a closeness to Hashem. Despite the being in this physical world. But the closeness to God that the neshama has when it's in a physical body can never reach the level of the closeness that it has before it came down. Even the greatest tzaddik, the holy person, as we learned early in the Tanya, is the intermediate person who is acting holy. And then there is the tzaddik. There's different levels of a tzaddik. Complete tzaddik and incomplete tzaddik. A complete tzaddik is a person who completely elevated himself and is as one with Hashem. But being in this physical world, even the greatest, holiest tzaddik does not have, not even close, not even a small amount of love, the love and fear and connecting to Hashem, the way the soul was before it came down to the body. So what's the purpose? The soul itself does not need fixing. The soul itself is connected to Hashem. The purpose is to elevate this physical world. In other words, when we come into this world and we see challenges, we tend to think that, those are things that are problems. They interfere in our service of Hashem. And therefore, it might lead us to conclude that, we should separate, disconnect ourselves from this world. Let's focus on only spirituality and run away from reality, run away from the world, run away from the physical challenges that we have. And here comes the Alter Rebbe and says, no, that being in this world is our mission. Yes, we need to do it according to the Torah, which includes not to indulge in material things. But whatever we need, whatever we have to do, we shouldn't look at it as an obstacle to our connection to God. On the contrary, it is an opportunity of tikkun olam. What is tikkun olam? Fixing the world. What does it mean, fixing the world? Is to reveal the true existence of this world. To reveal in everything why it is here. To reveal that Hashem is the source of everything. And this is by doing what we do, using everything what we come in contact with for the purpose of holiness. We reveal the real reason why we were created, why the world is here, to reveal the essence of Hashem. So let's see inside what the Alter Rebbe says. Says the Alter Rebbe, V'chol nitzutz lo yorad le'olam hazeh. Each spark did not descend into this world. And we said yesterday, the sparks, what are the sparks? We're talking about the sparks of the soul. There's so many souls, and there are many sparks of the souls, and each person has either one spark, two sparks, or as many sparks as a person was destined to have, that this person needs to elevate the parts of the world. We discussed yesterday that the world is divided into parts and the souls are divided into parts, and each soul has certain sparks in the world, certain parts of the world that it needs to elevate. So each spark did not descend into this world to perfect itself, but to perfect the body and vital soul, as the Alter Rebbe will soon conclude. So when Alter Rebbe here that he touches on this subject of the descent of the soul, the Alter Rebbe explains, goes into details. What does it mean? How low is this descent? And Alter Rebbe goes on and says, "Af shehi yerida gdoila b'chinas golus mamash," though it is indeed a great descent, a veritable exile for the soul. When the soul comes down to this world, it's a great descent to the soul. Why? Because no matter how good you will accomplish, what level you will reach in this world, even if you reach the greatest level as a perfect tzaddik, you will never get close to the level of closeness that your soul had before it came down to this world. Says the Alter Rebbe, "Ki gam she'yeh tzaddik gomer oived Hashem b'yira ve'ahava rabba b'tanugim," for even if it becomes in this world a perfect tzaddik, serving God with fear and delighting in an abounding love of Him, lo yagia lemalois dveikusoi b'Hashem b'dechilu urechimu b'terem yeridose lo'elam hazeh hachumri lo yimino v'lo miktzase. It will not attain to the quality of its attachment to God with fear and love that the soul experienced prior to its descent into this corporal world, nor even to a fraction of its earlier fear and love. ואין ערך ודמיון ביניהם כלל, כנודע לכל משכיל שהגוף אינו יכול לסבול כולו. In fact, there is no comparison or similarity whatsoever between them, between the love and fear of God experienced by a soul on earth and that of the soul above. You cannot even compare. For as is obvious to every intelligent man, the body could not bear, etc. The body could not bear what? Could not bear the love and fear of such intensity as the soul experienced above in the spiritual realms. This is why, as we mentioned a few lessons ago, that during the giving of the Torah, when God did reveal Himself to us, the body could not contain that intense revelation, and the soul departed from the bodies. So what then is the purpose? What then is the purpose of coming such a great soul, a holy soul that is connected with Hashem, coming down to this physical, corporal world that no matter how good you will be here, you will never reach to this level? The purpose is, says the Alter Rebbe, ultimately it is a mystery, just like the mystery of the exile of the Shekhinah, the divine presence into this world. It is a mystery that Hashem wants this soul to come down to this world to purify the body, to elevate the body, and to fix, and that is the tikkun olam, the real tikkun olam. But its descent into this world to be clothed in a body and a vital soul is for the sole purpose of perfecting them. Perfecting this world, and to separate them from the evil of the three impure klippas. How do we do it? Al yidei shmiras shasa loisase v'anfeim, by observing the 365 prohibitions and their offshoots, meaning they're observing the biblical and the rabbinic prohibitions. And to elevate its vital soul together with the portion of the world at large that relates to it. Binding and uniting them with the Ein Sof light, which he draws into them by performing all the 248 positive mitzvahs through the agency of the vital soul. So this is the two things that the soul does. It is to separate from the evil through the keeping the mitzvahs, the negative mitzvahs, the prohibitions, and to elevate them by infusing the godly light through doing the positive mitzvahs. Because the only one who can do the positive mitzvahs is the soul while it's in a body. You cannot do it without the physical body and the vital soul. Since the vital soul is the one that performs all the mitzvahs involving action, as explained above in chapter 36, that the divine soul can activate the body in performance of the mitzvahs only by way of the vital soul. The divine soul is itself cannot perform the mitzvahs. Only it's too spiritual. It doesn't have a direct connection with the body. You need the vital soul. And therefore, the vital soul is being purified and elevated. It is likewise written in Eitz Chaim, Portal 26, that the divine soul itself does not need perfecting at all. The soul doesn't need perfecting. The soul is perfect in the sense of the closeness of Hashem and love and connecting to Hashem. And there is no need for it to be embodied in this world in a body and vital soul, except to draw down light to perfect them, the vital soul and the body. And this parallels exactly the mystery of the exile of the Shekhinah, whose purpose is to refine the sparks of holiness which fell into the klippos. So too does the divine soul enter into exile within the body and vital soul in order to perfect them and to extract from them the sparks of holiness which they contain. So this is, he calls it the mystery of the exile of the Shekhinah, the divine presence. So basically he says that the soul does not need fixing. However, it doesn't mean that the soul doesn't benefit from coming down. It doesn't need fixing, but it still benefits from it. Because ultimately, the soul is one with Hashem and connected with Hashem, but Hashem is endless, Ein Sof. The levels to reach is Ein Sof. And when the soul does come down to this world and elevates and purifies the body, the soul itself experiences a greater elevation and a greater connection with Hashem. So it doesn't need fixing, but it can use elevation. And that is ultimately this mystery. We will understand that mystery of why the neshama comes down to this world. That we'll understand and we will be able to see in the coming of Mashiach very soon. Wishing you all a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see you, Mitzvah Hashem, after Shabbos. All the best.